Right now, we are joined live by the awesome guitar player Michael Romeo. His new solo album is out, and he also plays for Symphony X. What's up, Michael?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing great. Where are you calling from, Jersey?
I am calling from Jersey, yep.
New Jersey. How's the scene out there in Jersey?
What scene? No, it's all good, man. It's, things are different these days, but it's all good.
Things are definitely different. I mean, when Symphony X started in 1994, what a difference 24 years later to how the music business works, right?
Yeah, man, in a big way. It's just everything's upside down and backwards now, but we're all trying to do our thing and get by and do what we can do. It's just, things are way different, man.
Way different. So that means you got to adjust to the times, right?
Yeah, best as you can.
Now, you were born in New York City. When did you move to Jersey?
Yeah, I was born in New York, but I grew up in Jersey. Yeah.
Cool. And at what age did you start playing guitar?
Oh, man. I think, for real, about 14, but I think I had a guitar before that. Crappy acoustic guitar I got at a garage sale and, listening to Kiss Alive 2, and I'm like, man, play guitar and, just noodling around. But 14 was probably, a little more serious and, getting into, Priest and Maiden and Sabbath and all that and all, Rush, all those bands I grew up with. So 14... yeah, that's what I'll say 14.
So did you take lessons or you self-taught?
In the very beginning, I took, basic lessons, some chords and, just the basic stuff. But pretty much self-taught, just listening to all the stuff that was out and, practicing all the time and all that crazy stuff. But yeah, there was lessons in the beginning just to be familiar with, the fingering and that kind of stuff. And actually, I did go back years later, for classical guitar, but, the guy wanted me to play all the time, nothing but classical, and practice this, and I was like, man, that ain't my thing. It's cool and all, but I'm a metal guy, so that was the end of that.
Do you teach lessons too?
I did for a while, how old was I? I don't know, 17, 18, I'm more like 18 or so, and there was a local shop in town, and I was teaching there. And that was cool. And then, once the band was kind of getting together and doing its thing, putting all my time into that.
Now you have
it was pretty much like guitar playing all the time, every day, all day. I was a kid. So
not nonstop. So how many hours? About 8 to 10 hours a day, or?
Oh God, who the hell knows? It was as much as I could. In between partying. Back then, the kegs in the woods and all that.
I remember those.
But yeah, man, definitely a lot of time. I was pretty serious about it. I loved all that stuff, and I think when I first heard Blizzard of Oz and Randy Rhoads, and for me that was pretty big turning point. It's like, okay, man, this is. I really love this stuff, and some technique involved, and there's some theory involved, and I kind of buckled down a little bit more and. Listening to all those different guys. When I was young, I was with Van Halen, and then Yngwie came along, and there was just so many players. So there was just so much stuff to learn and to be inspired by.
And now you have a brand new solo release. What is the actual release date? Did it come out already?
Tomorrow.
Awesome.
The gig's tomorrow. Yeah, it's tomorrow, man. So
as you know, Michael, for the last, I don't know, since I've been in the business, since the 90s, early 90s, albums were always released on Tuesdays, and then about a couple years ago, they pushed to Fridays.
Yeah,
why?
Like we were saying, everything's different and changed, and new formulas, and yeah. But whatever, as long as it comes out, I don't care if it's on a friggin' Sunday, as long as the thing comes out.
So tomorrow you could pick it up, and what's the is it called War of the Worlds? Part 1?
For the World, and it's called Part 1 because when I started writing this thing, I just started writing. I just kept going for a couple months, and I kind of looked back at what I had, and man, there was so much material. There was maybe almost 2 hours of stuff, and I kind of knew right then. It's like, okay, I ain't gonna do all this at once. And take half of it for now, and make that Part 1 and then Part 2. So, it was all written at the same time, and we actually went ahead and, did the drums and the bass and they get rhythm guitars, and a lot of it is already done. But yeah, it was just so much stuff. It's like, yeah, let's concentrate on the first batch of songs, and then at some point in the future, I'll come back.
Do a part two.
Yep.
Cool. Now, how do these songs come together? I mean, it's got to be different writing your own solo record compared to writing Symphony X records, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be some similarities, just because it's, with the band, I do a lot of the writing, and there's just things that I like, man, and there's things I like to do. So, yeah, man, there's going to be some similarities. But with the solo record, there's some things you can do that, the band wouldn't do. And I remember putting this together, and years ago, I heard my kids listening to, like, some dubstep electronic, and like, what the hell is that? And I'm listening, I'm like, oh, man, that got pretty heavy, and I'm like, that'd be cool to put some guitar. So there's actually a song on the record that's like this metal dubstep orchestral mix, and, maybe the band wouldn't do that. So the solo record, yeah, man, you have a little bit of freedom to try some different things, and just, try to do something a little different.
This is Rebel Radio. I'm Scott Davidson talking to guitarist Michael Romeo. Brand new release comes out tomorrow. That is July 27th. And how long was this CD in the works?
Oh, I probably started writing right at the beginning of 2017. I mean, I think a couple months before that I knew I was going to do it, but really getting down to the nuts and bolts and figuring out what I was going to do was about then. So it was like a year total. But again, it was, kind of like doing 2 albums at once. So 6 months each if you split it. But yeah, it was a little bit of time ago.
So who else is on the album with you?
Just friends of mine. Mostly, it's guys that I've known. On drums, it's John Macaluso, and Johnny Max played with he's played with Malmsteen and TNT. He's played with a lot of guys, and we've known each other for years, a long time, and good friends, and always said, hey man, we should do something, it'd be cool. And so when I did this solo record, I'm like, yeah man, let me call Johnny Mac and get him on board. And then with bass, I got John DeServio, JD, from Black Label. And JD and I went to high school together. He lives down the street from me. And, we'll run into each other every so often. It's like, hey, man, what's up? We should jam. And so, again, doing the solo thing, I'm like, yeah, man, let me call JD, see what he's got going on. And he had a little time, so, we just kind of chilled out and did it. And on vocals is a friend of mine, Rick Castellano. And he's a New York guy, and he's an unknown guy. But about like 7-8 years ago, I was hanging out with some old friends, and we were just jamming on a weekend, just for fun, having a good time. And one of my friends introduced me to Rick, and he was jamming with us, and just some old Priest and Sabbath, and just having fun. And I remember I thought Rick was great, and I said, hey man, if I ever did anything, I would give him a call and get some new blood in there. So yeah, that's pretty much the guys. Like I said, friends of mine, and wanted to keep it cool and easy going and a relaxed environment. So yeah, it worked out great.
Did you show them what to play, or were they on their own?
I mean, with the writing, I'll do everything here. I mean, I spent months just putting the songs together, and yeah, the songs I'll sketch out with the drum machine, or I'll kind of fudge my way through the bass or a keyboard part or something, just so the idea is there. But it's like, yeah, man, you guys, here's the basic song, and, if you can add to it, embellish it somehow, yeah, man, that's cool. And with Rick, with the vocals, I mean, we spent time together with the lyrics and some melodies and stuff, so yeah, the basic foundations of the songs were there.
This is Rebel Radio. Scott Davidson talking to Michael Romero. And is there any tours coming with this band? Or is this
well, when I first started doing it, I really wasn't thinking about any kind of touring. I mean, Symphony X was taking a little break, and I knew eventually, we'd get back and figure out what we were doing. And this was just kind of more like, okay, it's a solo record, and It doesn't matter how many tracks are piled on, or there's guitars and there's synths and there's the orchestra and there's so many things happening, and it didn't matter because it's like, okay, well, maybe you don't have to worry about performing this live. So it was more about just making the record sound kind of like how I heard it to sound. But yeah, I mean, it's possible depending on what the reaction is, how it does. Yeah, I mean, nothing's out of the realm of possibility. I mean, that would take a little bit of work. But, right now, just taking it day by day. And like I said, I've been talking to the guys in the band at Symphony X and trying to figure out our next move. So I'm just, trying to gauge what's happening and the scheduling and the timing. But, yeah, nothing is written in stone.
How about any, listening parties? Like, a lot of bands put out a new release, and then they have, a listening party at a bar or something, or anything going on with that?
No, that's cool, but, I mean, it's hard for me because it's like I hear it every day for, a year, and the last thing I want to do is friggin' hear it again. I mean, no, I still love the stuff, but, yeah, I mean, it's different because I'm doing everything here in my studio and doing a lot of the tracking here and a lot of the, the writing and the orchestral stuff and some of the production. So to me, it's like, whew, it's a long time of hearing the same thing over and over. But, yeah, no, that's definitely cool. But I kind of like this time because it's like, okay, the mixes were great, everything's good. I kind of just, it's nice to get away from it for a little bit, and then probably tomorrow I will put the whole thing on and it will be kind of fresh again. So it's like, okay, I can actually sit back and enjoy it now after hearing it 20 billion times already.
So we're gonna play 2 songs coming up, and if someone likes the songs and they want to buy it, how can they purchase it? Is it going to be on CD Baby? Is it going to be on iTunes? All that good stuff?
iTunes, Amazon, any of that stuff. I mean, it's out there. It's kind of everywhere.
And what's the label called?
Mascot Label Group.
Mascot Label Group, and it comes out tomorrow, July 27th. Looking forward to that. We have 2 songs so far, and the 2 songs we're gonna play a double dose coming up. Black and Fear the Unknown. Okay.
Cool, man. Yeah, good stuff.
Now you're probably telling me the same answer, but any chance for videos of these songs or any songs on the album coming up? Depends how things go, right?
Well, the label does. I mean, I guess a lot of labels now, they'll do these lyric video kind of things, which, I mean, I'm not a total fan of it, but again, things are so different now, and that's kind of a normal thing. But I have to say, I think the guy that they got to do some of these lyric videos did a really, really good job. So it's like, all right, that's cool. That's cool, but that is the thing now. So again, just adjusting and going with the flow of the way things are.
Now you can check out Michael on Facebook.com/Michael J. Romeo. Do you have a YouTube channel?
Say again?
Do you have a YouTube channel?
No, not really that I know of.
Maybe the label might have one. Check out Mascot or do a search for Michael Romero on YouTube.
Yeah,
You'll find a bunch of stuff.
The label is doing a lot of that stuff too.
Very cool. We'll look forward to hearing it. We're going to play 2 songs right now. What are these songs about? We're going to play Black and then Fear the Unknown. What are those songs about?
What are they about?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the whole record, with this War of the Worlds, it kind of was that thing because a lot of the music is a little bit of this sci-fi kind of orchestral, cinematic. It's metal, though. And we didn't want all these lyrics to be about Martians and all that, retell this, the classic story. So, I mean, it's a little different, man. It's like the War of the Worlds could be, world of politics or worlds of religion. So it's vague, some of the lyrics and some of the ideas. I mean, there is a little bit of this sci-fi thing throughout. So every song is a little different. Fear the Unknown, it is more that thing, the unknown, and kind of has a space kind of vibe. And Black is a little darker, maybe getting into the more the war aspect of things. But, yeah, I mean, it's not like an exact retelling of the H.G. Wells thing. It's its own thing.
Well, Michael, thank you for calling Rebel Radio. We're going to keep supporting your solo stuff and Symphony X. What do you want to tell the fans before I let you go?
Oh, just definitely thanks for all the years. Like we were talking before, we've been around since 1994 doing our thing. And honestly, man, it is cool to do what you love for a living, and without the fans, I mean, it would be impossible to make that happen. So 100%, man, thanks to everybody, and I hope people like this solo record. You know, I had a good time making it, a lot of fun, and yeah, just hope people enjoy it.
Well, thanks a lot for calling in, and I want you to be the DJ and introduce this next song, Black, okay?
You want me to be the DJ?
Yes.
Okay. What am I supposed to say?
You say, this is Michael Romeo. Here's my new release from the brand new CD.
All right, I got it. I can wing this, bro. I got
cool.
it. Ready?
Here we go.
Hey, this is Michael Romeo, and you're listening to Black from my new solo record, War of the Worlds Part 1.
Right here on Rebel Radio. Thanks a lot, Michael.
All right, bro.
See you soon.